Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Welcome to West Virginia University's Creative Arts Center Lyle B. Clay Concert Theater. For your safety, we would like to point out the illuminated exits to your left and right. In the event of an emergency, you will be directed to the appropriate exit. At this time, we ask that you turn off all cell phones, pagers, and audible alarms as a courtesy to all. Thank you for your attention.
Everyone, please rise for the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Good morning and welcome. Welcome students, faculty, family, and friends. Welcome to those of you in the audience and those of you watching us live via webcast. And a very special welcome to our soon-to-be graduating students from the WVU P.I. Reed School of Journalism. Many of your families and some of you have come from far and wide to celebrate this occasion. Today marks a milestone achievement in your life, the end of one journey, the beginning of another. On behalf of the faculty and the staff, I can say that it has been a true joy to share in that journey with you and to see you safely cross the finish line. Your degree has value, and so do you. To share in your celebration today and to honor a very special guest who is with us, I would like to welcome to the podium WVU President Dr. Jim Clements and Faculty Senate Chair Dr. Leslie Cottrell. Dr. Cottrell will introduce one of this year's honorary degree recipients who was nominated for this honor by the P.I. Reed School of Journalism, and President Clements will confer the honorary degree.
G. Ogden Nutting has distinguished himself as a leader in the world of newspaper publishing. Currently the publisher of Ogden Newspapers Incorporated, Ogden has continued a strong family tradition in journalism started by his grandfather in 1890. The business is West Virginia's largest newspaper company. The Ogden family has long supported West Virginia University and the Perley Isaac Reed School of Journalism. In addition to scholarship funding, Ogden Nutting and the Nutting family have created the Ogden Newspapers Seminar Series, the Ogden Newspapers Multimedia Classroom, and the Ogden Newspapers Endowed Visiting Professorship. Their commitment to student success at West Virginia University is evident. Mr. Nutting has also been involved with and recognized by the Southern Newspaper Publishers Association, the American Newspaper Publishers Association, and the West Virginia Press Association for his dedication and accomplishments. Ogden Nutting has made important contributions to the field of newspaper publishing, and we are pleased to present him with an honorary degree as part of West Virginia University's commencement exercises. Mr. President, I present G. Ogden Nutting.
G. Ogden Nutting, in recognition of your distinguished career and by the virtue of the authority vested in me by the West Virginia University Board of Governors, I hereby confer upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters with all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining thereto. In testimony thereof, I hand you this diploma and cause you to be invested with this hood. It is my pleasure to honor my friend, Dr. Nutting, as we celebrate this exciting weekend on our campus. I'm so glad that I could be here for this special presentation before I head out to another commencement ceremony. However, I am leaving you in good hands with Provost Wheatley and Dean Reed. But before I go, I would like to welcome Dr. Nutting to the podium to share some words of advice with our graduates. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please help me welcome Dr. Ogden Nutting.
Already left. I was going to say President Clemens, Dean Reed, family, faculty, parents, and particularly you, the class of 2012. It's a privilege to be here with you today. It's my understanding that the parents would like a speech that is sentimental and even perhaps moving. That the faculty expect something meaningful, thoughtful, and even substantive. But the students simply want the address to be brief, and I promise I will be brief. But first, congratulations. This is a great moment in your lives. You are surrounded by your friends and your family, people who are proud of you, people who care about you, people who love you. Take a minute to breathe it all in. This is a moment that you will want to remember. I hope you enjoy it. Later in the program today, we will see a special presentation about George Esber, who was the Ogden newspaper's visiting professor of journalism for 10 years. George died earlier this year. George spent more years covering the war in Vietnam than did any other correspondent. He was a graduate of West Virginia University, just as you will soon be. I know many of you were fortunate enough to be in one of his classes. Others may have worked with him on the Athenaeum, and many of you heard him speak or shared time with him. This morning, when my wife and I were having breakfast at the Waterfront Hotel, we met Liz O'Donnell, a public relations major who graduated last year in the class of 2011. We started talking about graduation and George Esber, and she told me that she was raising a puppy as part of a dog training program, and she would take the puppy to George's house. George missed the cat that he had always had with him, and the two had a wonderful time sharing the puppy. As she talked about George, and she talked about her experience with him, she got teary. It was a very emotional thing for her, but it showed the relationship that George had with so many of you, and how important it was to Liz, and I'm sure how important to you. George did not teach only on this campus. He would travel to Wheeling and give us classes, particularly in how to interviewing. The classes were for our reporters and even senior editors. Even this group of veterans, they would hang on his every word. George was that good, and your teachers, your professors at the School of Journalism are that good. There's something about having the nicest, gentlest man you'll ever meet, being one of the greatest war correspondents of the past 50 years. There must be some connection. George and the war in Vietnam don't seem to go together, to belong. Maybe that is part of the reason he could get great stories, he could get that could last so long in such a difficult, he could last so long in such a difficult time and place. He was indeed special. Now, Dean Reed, I think I can speak for many, many people in this room today that I wish we could have heard George's last lecture. You know, it's along the lines of the Carnegie Mellon professor who gave his last lecture as he was dying. Thinking about what George could have taught all of us, I have a feeling that George gave everything in every lecture and with every student, and I wish we could have all enjoyed his last lecture. Whether George was in Vietnam or in Morgantown, throughout his career, certain basic values were important to him and were applicable to his tasks, regardless of the equipment, his location, or his assignment. And these standards have been important to and valuable to all aspects of journalism from the very beginning, and are still vital and applicable today. Get the story right. Have the correct facts. Be accurate, complete, fair, and when possible, be first. First is harder and harder today with blogs, iPhones, and the internet. But unless you are also accurate, complete, and fair, first is of little value and can do real harm. Today you're graduating from the School of Journalism. When the school was founded, journalism meant newspapers, the writing of news, the selling of advertising, producing a newspaper. Over the decades, radio arrived, then television, then cable, and then the internet, and who knows what will be next. Each time, the newcomer was to replace the old, and it didn't happen. Careers in these fields and in public relations, advertising, promotion, graphic design, all of these and other majors are included in what is now known as communications. My career has been in newspapers. Our family publishes newspapers and has done so for 122 years. Today, technology is different, the equipment is different, and will continue to change in the years ahead. But what newspapers provide is still essential to every community: a fair and balanced report of what is going on, whether in government, school, business, family, church, or life in general. A report of what has happened and an awareness of what should now be done. The basic approach that has guided our newspapers and guided George Esber in Vietnam in covering the war there is the same basic principle that will guide you well in whatever branch of communications you have chosen. Again, the technology changes, the systems change, but the guiding principles remain the same. Even as advanced as the iPads and iPhones may be, and as well prepared as you are, the odds are that many of you will end up working for companies that do not exist today, in jobs that do not exist today, using technology that does not exist today. But the standards of completeness, accuracy, and timeliness will still apply. This is why it's important to learn to think broadly, to challenge and be curious, to use those skills that the faculty has helped to nourish in each of you. You're extremely fortunate to have been able to attend a great institution with a faculty and administration that are committed to and focused on the whole student throughout your lifetime. This is the lasting value of a liberal arts education, the ability to think critically, to react and adjust as life moves forward at an ever faster pace. And this applies to all the different majors here, not just the so-called old newspaper journalism, but the varied, challenging, and exciting world of communications today. One day, Haven Thompson, an editor with our morning newspaper in Wheeling, The Intelligencer, said that he was sorry he wrote such a long editorial. He did not have time to write a short one. All right, now think about it. It's easy to ramble, to put everything in the important and the less important. To be concise, sufficient, and complete takes time, skill, and effort. It is not easy. Whatever your task or assignment, it's good if your ultimate product, your editorial, is indeed concise, sufficient, and complete. It tells your story, whether on newsprint, in a broadcast, on the internet, whether news, art, picture, or advertising. The goal of a short editorial is a good thing to remember. Now, journalism, the broad name, journalism is still the first draft of history. Most of you are going into what can broadly be defined as media, whether in print or radio or TV or the internet, in journalism or advertising or public relations or IMC. You can cover up or uncover a government scandal. You can overlook or you can pierce through injustices. It is even said that you can start or stop a war, and maybe you really can. Hearst claimed his newspaper started the Spanish-American War, and President Lyndon Johnson said he lost the support of the American people when Walter Cronkite turned against the war in Vietnam. One was newspapers, the other was TV. Both were effective. Closer to home, The Intelligencer, our morning newspaper in Wheeling, the oldest daily in West Virginia, and it was known as the newspaper that sired a state. The Intelligencer was the first to outline and then to advocate the sequence of legislatures, conventions, and subsequent statewide votes that ultimately led to the creation of our state. But that is a long story and for another day. All right, technology will change, and that's a great thing. You may think that I have been around long enough to have printed a paper with Gutenberg's wood type, but I haven't been. But I have seen an unbelievable change in my years in the media business. You will see even more, and that's exciting because you are prepared well after your years at the P.I. Reed School of Journalism. Now to conclude, 3 old school newsroom tips that might serve you well in whatever part of the media you find your path. First, listen and read. That's where and how you find the story. Second, think and look around. That's how you figure out what it means. And third, write shorter. Focus, tighten, perfect. That's how you get it right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nutting, and congratulations. You know, it would be hard to imagine anybody more worthy of this honorary degree than you, except perhaps one person, and that is a mutual friend of ours, Dr. George Esper, who stood on a similar stage to receive his honorary doctorate degree from WVU 12 years ago. Ogden, you and your family have been extremely generous to the university and the School of Journalism, and you've created a legacy with your good works. But perhaps your greatest gift of all to us was the man, George Esper. A renowned Associated Press correspondent for 42 years, George Esper left the AP in 2000 to come to WVU as the first Ogden newspaper's endowed professor. An outstanding journalist and beloved professor, George served on the faculty for 10-plus wonderful years. During that time, he taught, coached, and mentored countless students, guiding them on their road to success. He came here as a star, but he was much more concerned about helping all of you to shine. He was also a kind, caring, and generous man with a sly sense of humor who rarely met a stranger who didn't become a friend. Now, as Dr. Nutting mentioned, George passed away this winter, but we will always carry him in our hearts. And now I'd like to share a short video with you that will give all of you and those of you who didn't know George a little bit of an idea of what kind of man he was, what kind of teacher, and what kind of human being.
George brought an amazing understanding of the realities of modern journalism to the educational environment of our journalism college. He, of course, was one of the better-known reporters in the world, having headed the AP office during the Vietnam War in Vietnam. He was there for the fall of Saigon, which made him a kind of a leading figure in journalism.
We had lots of conversations about what he was going to do when he grew up and left the AP after 49 years. I thought there was a place for him, a really important place for him at WVU. I knew what a great teacher he was. He'd been my teacher, and he had encouraged me, and so many people, so many young reporters. The Nutting family also were very interested in funding a professorship that would bring a star to campus to be a mentor to young students. And so the stars aligned, and he said he would come. He agreed. He retired, and that was very hard for him. But he instantly found his place as, a beloved professor.
It was really great to be a student of his because he had so many connections in the journalism industry, and he would use those connections to help educate his students a lot.
Everybody knows about his resume and everything that he's done out in the work field, but to be a good teacher means you care for your students and you want the best for them, and he certainly wanted the best for everybody who stepped inside his classroom. And even for someone like me who didn't even have him for class, he was more than willing to help me out with anything I need or answer all the questions that I had.
Not too many people take the time to get to know each of their students. It's almost impossible when you're at a school the size of WVU, but George did that with each student.
Well, I remember one of the first times I was in his office, he would ask me about my internship and how Hoppy and Tony were doing at the radio station. It was like he was asking me 15 questions about myself, but I would kind of want his advice on something. And I guess that's what a lot of people liked about him, was he wanted to get to know you.
I learned those lessons from George about really caring about what's going on with the students. I admired that. He'd really encourage them, and he would sit down and talk with them. He'd take the time to sit down and talk with them about their life. But what I learned most from George were life lessons. He made me want to be a better person.
I think one of the biggest things Dr. Esper helped me with was getting through school, because at the same time I was doing a lot of work over at Metro News and also going to school here, and he kind of helped me balance out how to do work in the real world and then come back to do stuff in the classroom.
Sometimes it's overwhelming to be dealing with a daily newspaper and taking on 18 courses and dealing with the general public who doesn't realize that you're still just a student trying to produce a daily newspaper. And a lot of times I would just be like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know if, I'm the right person for this. And he would always encourage you to keep going.
But I really believe my life has changed for the better because of him. I don't know if I would have stuck with my career without his support, and he was a big advocate of me going on to teach in the profession. He thought that I had something to offer. So I can honestly say he made a huge difference.
Marianne Reed and I had lunch with him a couple of months before he died. Bill Nutting took us to Boston, and we had lunch with him there. He was too ill to come back. It was a beautiful afternoon, and we reminisced about everything. And we were talking a lot about Vietnam, and because one of George's favorite things to talk about was Vietnam and his colleagues there and the work at the AP. And Bill Nutting said to him, wow, that must have been the best time of your life. And he looked at us and said, well, I thought so. And then I came to WVU to teach. And really, in all honesty, I have to say that was the best time of my life. And he meant it. He was the heart and soul of this place.
There's a land of rolling mountains where the sky is blue above, and though I may roam, I hurry home to the where of waterfalls and mountain rills. My heart will be always in the West Virginia hills. Their autumn hillsides are bright with scarlet trees, and in the spring the robins sing, while apple blossoms whisper in the breeze. And there is music in the flashing streams, and joy in fields of daffodils. Laughter through the happy valleys of my home. Among the hills.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the granting of the diplomas. Visual journalism professor Dr. Bob Britton will read the names of the graduation candidates, starting with a master's degree in integrated marketing communications candidates, then the master's degree in journalism candidates, followed by our bachelor's degree candidates. The program directors will hood the master's degree candidates, and I will present the diplomas. For the bachelor's degree candidates, program chairs will present the diplomas. Also on stage to congratulate all graduation candidates will be WVU Provost Dr. Michelle Wheatley. At this time, we will begin the presentation of the graduation candidates.
Will the candidates for Master of Science in Integrated Marketing Communications please stand and approach the diploma table when your name is called? Marilyn E. Adams. Elise P. Anderson. Mitzi Avanzado. Meredith Barth. Jonathan Douglas Bickford. Victoria Denise Bishop. Alyssa Marie Boriff. Kimberly Joette Boziak. Christian E. Brooks. Rebecca M. Broyles Oliver. Dawnette A. Bruce. Natalie J. Bubb. Megan Francine Canavan. Patricia F. Sircone. Amy Lynn Clausen. Julia Michelle Cyphers. John Dudley. Amanda Renee Dunn. Kara B. Gold. Carissa Nicole Greer. Jocelyn Rebecca Haugen. J. Christopher Hebert. Raishira Charlet Hill. Lanre Isa Onilu. Caitlin Rose Kish. Catherine Langford. Shaylee Liberator. Amity Malloy. Emily Kathleen Martin. Melissa J. McDilda. Laura M. McDonald. Sarah Louise McLean. Katie M. McMullen. Chase O. Ofori-Atta. Hannah Lee Ornosky. Kimberly Joy Sacchetti. Carrie Lindgren Spanagle. Lorraine C. Stoft. Chelsea Ray Stuck. Catherine Sloan Wilson. Will the candidates for Master of Science in Journalism please stand and approach the diploma table when your name is called? In a minute. Now, Catherine Joanne Patton. Corey Michael Priest. Kristen A. Wishon. Will the candidates for Bachelor of Science in Journalism Advertising please move toward the stage? Sarah Marie Aldridge. Daniel Joseph Alkire. Alexander H. Beecher. Clarissa Page Blamble. Caitlin Mary Bordini. Hugh Palmer Brown. Amy Elizabeth Brusgo. Taylor W. Callahan. Bethany Tanya Clark. Brooke Lee Cobb. Lauren Coxon. Arthur J. Denman III. Nicholas Detweiler. Daniel DiCoco. Kevin C. Diffley. Daniel Joseph Driscoll. James John Eggy. Martin Andre Fernandez. Michael Freeman. Abigail Sanders Gordon. Shane F. Guthrie. Amanda Michelle Harshman. Kyle Hayes. Scott Hess. Oh. Amanda Lee Hillman. Jessica Page Humphrey. Max Russell Gents. Morgan Patricia Johnston. Michelle Christine Kopecki. Ryan Krofchek. Eric C. Kuhn. Hadley Coons. Alexandra Galit Levy. Julie Dana Lipman. Matthew Patrick Long. Michael Lugat. Hello, Maggie. Margaret Ann Matsko. Elizabeth Marie McMahon. Catalina Maria Mahia. Always one. Ethan Messineo. Woo! Thank you. Chelsea Bryn Midkiff. Erica Mung. Amanda Moreau. Sean Nally. Joshua Petka. Matthew Plantier. Evan Richardson. Joseph Rinaldi. Brittany Michelle Sabatino. Katrina Rose Sorrentino. Wesley Vernon Spiker. Jake Stern. Okay. Megan Thomas. Christy Toten. Logan Joseph Vinderlich. Andrew Jeremy Walker. Julia Meyer Weigel. Chelsea Elizabeth Wheaton. Alexander Wilson. Scott Zimmerman. Okay. Go ahead. Okay. Will the candidates for Bachelor of Science in Journalism, Broadcast News, and Television Journalism please move toward the stage? As you have. Laura Grace Allen. Alexander Paul Belfiore. Emily Allison Brown. Eva M. Buckman. Lindsay Lynn Burnworth. Paige Carver. Caesar Cologne. Jacqueline Louise Delphin. Wayne Joseph Haviland. Jordan Halloway. Jenna Lee Keys. Ryan M. Kendra. Alexandria Christine Kozovic. Hey, how are you? Matthew Krause. Autumn Marie Lannon. Sabu Majarian. Ashton Mara. Joshua R. Marshall. Erica Ann Moquet. Jordan A. Pasella. Ashley Piomelli. Congratulations. Mary M. Power. Jessica Marie Ruth Roby. Ryan Christopher Ross. Alexander Traficante. Amy Wallace. Christopher A. Williams. Allie Young. Will the candidates for Bachelor of Science in Journalism, News Editorial, and Print Journalism please move toward the stage? Derek M. Dennehy. Congratulations. Erin Ann Fitzwilliams. Bevan Fletcher. Laura Carolyn Flood. Carl Nils Josephson. Jessica B. Margella. Thank you. Congratulations. Shay Mons. Alexander Panos. Congratulations. Derek Rudolph. Congratulations. Benjamin Lee Scott. Taylene Dawn Swihart. Benjamin Zwyman. Will the candidates for Bachelor of Science in Journalism, Visual Journalism, please move toward the stage? Mallory Ash Bracken. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Evan McCaffrey. Brittany Stewart. Cody Wagand. Sarah Renee Wise. Cody Quinn Yeager. Run out of space up here. Will the candidates for Bachelor of Science in Journalism Public Relations please move toward the stage? Lee Ashby. Kathleen Augusta. Jessica Marid Austin. Talia Sameh Brunicardi. Thomas J. Bruno. Sarah Elizabeth Butts. Nikki Marie Cannon. Megan E. Carlson. Morgan Emily Constable. Yep, I got you. Haley Elizabeth Cohen. Matthew Ryan Cooksey. Alexandra Marie Cordero. Ryan Cummings. Megan Elizabeth Denny. Kelly Jewel Dodds. Natalie Jean Dorr. Blair Ashley Dowler. Alex Dufour. Hannah M. Ellis. Jordan Edward Ellison. Samantha Jo Esposito. Bridget Feeney. Daniel Gearhart. Erin Michelle Graziani. Margaret C. Grow. Alexa Hadfield. Cassidy Peace Hayslip. Kevin P. Hanks. Julie Hildenbrand.
Congratulations, Bree.
Brianne Hill. Nikki Hoover. Megan N. Kerr. Jared Tyler Lathrop. Adrian Herlihy. J. Morgan Leach. Kristen Lucas. Brenton L. Mack. Jacqueline Ann Manley. Michael Maslin. Jane Louise Kenny McKegg. Christine Marie Melvin. Caitlin Elise Melvin. Shannon E. Mossman. Rochelle A. Neely. Lucas Lee Nessler. Rachel Diane Nyman. Megan Amanda Norford. Jordan Patrick Nuzzum. Rachel Lee Petneski. Lauren Ashley Pawlikowski. Anna Elizabeth Quinn. Jessica Santillo. Taylor Ray Scarnato. Jesse Seiden. Jonna Lee Shoemate. Catherine Lee Sloan. Brian Michael Orrell Smith. Megan Schuyler Smith. Congratulations. Kelly R. Snediger. Lauren Elizabeth Soban. Lynn Marie Stabler. Caitlin Michelle Steinspring. Nicole Lauren Trauerbach. Eric Vinicio Umana. Kayla Joe Vincent. Joshua Quinn Walters. Savannah Morgan Watkins. Alexandra Rose Wildstein. Whitney Nicole Woofter. Trisha Faye Worstel. Zachary David Young.
We're almost there. Now, for the official conferring of the degrees, I invite to the podium Dr. Michelle Wheatley, Provost of West Virginia University.
Will the candidates from the Perley Isaac Reed School of Journalism please rise? Candidates, your profession's role in communicating ideas and informing citizens is essential to the functioning of a free society. Having experienced an innovative curriculum, worked with cutting-edge technologies, and undertaken ample real-world experience, you are well prepared to succeed in the 21st century mass communications environment. As you enter that environment, may you continue to express yourself with clarity and conviction, to maintain your devotion to truth, and to hold yourselves to the highest possible ethical standards. As West Virginia University graduates, always aspire to put your education to work, exploring our world's greatest problems. Continue to cultivate your global awareness and aim to create a more peaceful and just world. Constantly refine your abilities to uncover facts, analyze problems, and communicate clearly. Dream big and never stop learning. Share your pride in West Virginia University wherever you go, and act as ambassadors for WVU and the life-changing power of education. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the West Virginia University Board of Governors, I hereby confer upon you the degrees for which you have been recommended, with all the rights, honor, and privileges appertaining thereto. As West Virginia University's newest graduates, bachelors may move your tassels to the left side of your cap as a symbol of your achievements. Please join me in congratulating our newest graduates.
All right, graduates, please be seated. While every graduate is special, we pay tribute today to those students who have demonstrated academic excellence. These include the school's top graduating seniors who have earned the highest grade point average in their academic program, as well as the senior with the highest GPA in the graduating class. So, the 2012, when I call your name, please come up to the stage. The 2012 top scholar in advertising is Logan Venderlich. This is like the Academy Awards for sound effects. Okay, the 2012 Top Scholar in Public Relations is Rachel Neiman. We really try to be formal here, but something always happens. For our journalism major, there's actually a three-way tie this year for the Top Scholar Award. So I will ask, actually two of you are here today to come to the stage, Alexandria Kosovic and Cody Yeager. And Casey Hoffman is included, but she couldn't be here today. In addition, the same three students tied for our top overall graduating senior award. So Alexandria Kosovic, Cody Yeager, and Casey Hoffman. All right, and let's give another round of applause for our outstanding graduates, all of you. Before I close today, I want to remind you to visit memories.wvu.edu to share and relive your Mountaineer moments with the class of 2012. Finally today, as you leave WVU, I'd like to impart some final words of advice. I promise to be brief. First of all, class of 2012, as you enter the working world, be bold. Most of you are leaving the safety of the school environment for a new phase in your life. You're about to embark on a journey, but nobody's given you a roadmap. Don't let anybody fool you. Your 20s are a challenging time as you figure out what you want to do and who you want to be and how you want to live your life. And the liberating, but also scary thing is that these will be your decisions. No one else, not your parents, not your teachers, not your boyfriend or girlfriend can determine your future. But don't let the fear of the unknown paralyze you. Get started, get moving, take chances, pursue one path, and if it doesn't pan out, find another way. If someone says no, find somebody else to say yes. Be focused and determined and make your own breaks. Be your own brand. Be smart, not just book smart, but savvy, which means seeing the bigger picture and figuring out how you fit into it. Be an avid student of your profession. Determine what is needed and where you can add value. In today's incredibly dramatically changing media environment, being on top of what is happening in our field will be absolutely essential to your career. Be yourself. Ultimately, to be successful, you will need to figure out what you're good at and what you're not. You need to be able to look at yourself kindly, but with a critical eye. Use your head, but listen to your heart. Find out what motivates you, what inspires you, and what is true for you. Find your own voice, your own passion. If you can combine what you love to do with what the industry needs, you will be golden. But there is more to the world than just you. To be a well-rounded and well-grounded person, you also need to be of use. As you move forward, pay it forward. to your family, to your friends, to your community, and of course, to your alma mater. And I'm not just talking about giving financially, but I'm talking about giving of your time and your talents. Ask yourself when you wake up in the morning, not just what am I going to do today, but what will be my contribution? Be connected with your family, your friends, and your community. It's great to have 1,000 Facebook friends, but you need to cultivate your relationship with real people, people who love you and accept you exactly the way you are, who will be there for you in good times and bad. And believe me, no matter how much you try to avoid it, there will be difficult times ahead. Give of your heart, and you will gain much in return. As our good friend George Esper always said, and I believe this truly from the bottom of my heart, with love, anything is possible. Finally, and most importantly, you need to be in the moment. When you get to be my age, you will realize that life is best lived not as a series of tomorrows, but as a collection of moments, moments of great joy, great sorrow, and amazing grace, moments that can only be experienced by paying attention to the present, moments like this one. So, class of 2012, savor this moment. Tomorrow you will get started with the rest of your life, but today this is your moment, your achievement, your success, your day to shine. Congratulations, class of 2012. We will miss you.